What's up, guys? Jason Guyman here, and I'm excited. It is getting time for Christmas time. Christmas lights are not just a couple days around the corner for some people. And yes, I do know people that actually start September 1 installing Christmas lights. Now, don't let me get you discouraged if you're just starting out that you're like, well, I haven't even got my logo. I haven't got my Google business profile done. I haven't done that. And that's fine. And so that's what I want to talk about tonight a little bit is how can you go from the $100,000 installer to a seven-figure installer doing $1 million a year? And I want to talk about some mindset shifts. And what got me on this is this past weekend, we had an amazing class of installers and people wanting to learn and grow their Christmas light business or their other businesses that they had. We had Paul Gardner there talking about mindset and mind shift, and it just got me thinking about what separates $100,000 installer from a seven-figure or $1 million installer. And there's some things that does separate you. And here's the thing, right? How many people does it get to 100,000? You can do it by yourself and one other person. How many people does it take to get to 500,000, 500,000? You can do it by yourself and maybe three or four people. But how many people do you get to 1 million? You're going to need a lot more. You're probably going to need about 8 to 10 people at the end of the day. And so that's what I want to talk about is the mind shift and the mindset that's going to either keep you back or allow you to keep growing. And so this past weekend, we had an amazing class this weekend. We had 3 powerful days of just learning and sharing and growing, and it was awesome. And I've actually been setting up for a pressure washing class. I know, a pressure washing class, and it starts tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock here. It'll be my first class in my new shop. And so it is going to be a lot of fun to get this class going. I got my TV up, I got me some tables and chairs, and I had to go get another rig because the other rig wasn't working. So I had to go get another rig so I could teach you all how to do this. And when I first put this class together, I was like, if I can get 2 or 3 people at this class, I would be happy. But as of right now, we have over 6 people signed up for the pressure washing class. And I've already got some Christmas light classes coming up here in September too. They're already starting to fill up. And so it's going to be awesome to see people learning and growing their Christmas light and started their journey of their pressure washing business. And so that's what I've been working on. I've been trying to get things ready for class. I had to go get DJ's truck. I had to get tables and my chairs. My chairs were at a different location. So I had to get a bunch of stuff to make that happen. So to have a successful class for this weekend. So I'm excited for the people. And I haven't done a pressure washing class in almost 7 months, 6 months. I've only done one class this year for pressure washing. It's all been about Christmas lights. And I was like, you know what? I've got the space. We're going to do it Thursday and Friday. That's what we're going to do. And so I've been excited to hear some success stories. I would like to know what your success story is for Christmas lights this week. Have you closed any jobs? Have you done anything for your marketing? Or are you one that you're just like, I don't know what to do? I'm just in la la land. And so are you in Nashville? I know there's some people went to Nashville today and to learn some stuff down there, but I would love to hear where you guys are and what you're doing this week. And so that's what I want to hit on. I just got off the phone with Daniel. He just closed a big job. He's like a closing machine. He loves Christmas lights. I was sitting in class And he closed the big job and he sends me a message and it pops up on my screen and it has American signs, I love America, and all this kind of stuff for the flag. And it was so funny because one of the guys that was sitting up front was reading it too, and he was laughing and said, I love it, I love it. And he's actually has an accent too. He's from South Africa, and he had a very accent, almost sound just like Daniel. If you put you two in the room, it would be like the accent would be going crazy. It would be crazy overload. I don't know if you could take two Daniels. You can barely take one, let alone two. So, but it was exciting to see people learning and growing. So that's what I've been up to. I'd like to know what you all been up to. We'll get started here, reading some questions. I see we already got some questions coming in. AJ from Canadian. He's our Canadian friend. He's up in Canada. It can definitely be worth wrapping. It is going to be, they're not cheap, especially in Canada. It's probably like $10,000 in Canadian money. I don't know if it's still that way or not, but it is definitely something that could get you some more business. And it is a way to do it. But if you want to go on a budget route, you can do like a 3/4 wrap or a half wrap where you only wrap certain parts depending on what color the van is. So that is a way that it is doing it. Is it worth wrapping your truck or lights? I believe it can definitely help you out. Daniel, watching in the burger place, about to sell them some Christmas lights. Here's the deal. Everybody's always asking me, Jason, how does Daniel close? What's his script? How does he close? And he just goes in and he talks to people. He compliments the workers and he basically gets a conversation going and says, this place will look amazing with Christmas lights on. Do you have any Christmas lights? It's not quite that way, but that's my Scottish accent that I got going on there. And they're like, yes, we love Christmas lights. And so he sells Christmas lights by just being a person. He's not like, and I heard him do it to a donut shop, and he goes to there and then he compliments them, right? He's like, and he asks them questions like, what's the best burger here? Or what's, man, your front looks amazing since you've redone it, right? He compliments them, he ensures them, and he builds that know, like, and trust, and people buy from you. And it really is what it's all about at the end of the day. Nice congrats on doing first class at the new shop, A1 Pressure Washing, from the huge convention in Nashville. Nice, Daniel. That's awesome. Will the Houston class be interactive or the Cincinnati one? What will be the difference between the two? Trying to figure out which one to go. So they will both be interactive. There will be a little bit different at the one in Houston. It's going to talk a little bit more about landscape lighting, where if you do the third day here in Cincinnati, it'll be more about permanent lighting. But that's going to be probably the biggest thing. They're both be great classes. We have awesome people here. There'll be some other people there. So, that's the thing about my classes is I do them with other people. It ain't always just me. Sometimes it's me, but every class is unique and different. And so that's the cool thing about the class. Vacation. DJ is on vacation, and he wants to let everybody know he's on vacation. He is in Wisconsin. I took class today on Christmas light supplier, looking at possibly trying it this year. Closed a $5,600 this week commercial after leaving your class. That's what I'm talking about right there, right? Come into class and take an action. Come to class and take action. That's what I'm talking about. That is so awesome, Matt. That is amazing. That is super cool. And that's $5,600. I know people that have been installing for a year, 2, 3 years, and they have never closed a $5,600 job. So, the mindset shift by coming to the class and being around successful people, it definitely changes the way you look at things and you are able to grow. First year with lights, confused with leasing versus selling. Could you help me out with this? Absolutely. So, I haven't even got to my points here. I've got some great points I want to get, but you know what? Your guys' questions are way better anyway. So, really, the question is, should you sell lights or not? And the answer is, I do know some people that sell lights, and I will say it depends on where your area is. I know one area in the country that if you're not selling the lights, you are going to struggle. It's not to say that you can't do it, and I know people that do, but it's only one place that I know of, and it's out east. And so if you're there, that's one place. But everywhere else, you want to do a red carpet service. And here's the thing, even if you're in that place, you still want to do a red carpet service. We're not selling lights. We're not leasing lights. We are taking care of everything. And yes, this is the words you speak and the mindset that you have is how you can close a $5,600 job, how you can close an $8,500 job. And yes, someone contacted me today talking about they just closed an $8,500 job on a residential job. And so this is the key to it. They're not selling lights. They're not renting lights. They are selling an all-inclusive, hands, no touch, red carpet service at the end of the day. If you want to sell lights, if you want to worry about leasing lights, you're probably going to be at the $4 and $5, $6 foot range, and you're probably going to go broke. If you want to sell magic and sell at $8, $10 a foot, $14 a foot, this is where you sell it is by selling a red done for you service. We are selling you memories. We are not selling you lights. If I sell lights, I get little money. If I sell memories, it's priceless. You cannot put a price on someone's grandkids coming and looking at that house with the most amazing, beautiful look on their face. I promise you, you cannot put a price on that, but you can put a price on bulbs all day, really quick, really fast. And that's what I would say for sure. This is what advice ChatGPT gave to not mess up Google business page already verified lawn. Mr. Danny, 30 boxes organized, 120 more. So here's the thing. People come to my class and they should have came last year. And Juan was one of those that should have came last year because Juan decided to take down. And here's the thing. This was year 2. This wasn't year 1. This was year 2. In year 2, he did over $300,000 in Christmas lights. And he came to the class this weekend and he's already been putting up Christmas lights. He did it 2 years, $300,000. But here's the thing, and this is what I tell people. If you want to go from 100,000 to 1 million, then come to class because you're going to learn different. You're going to learn systems. And if you want to go from 100,000 to 1 million, it's all about systems. What systems do I need to put in place? And here's the thing. This is the system of his failure last year. When they went and took down Christmas lights last year, they put them all in each individual box. That's perfect. That's okay. But the problem of it is they never wrapped anything. They just literally piled this stuff in the boxes. And so now he gets to organize 150 boxes. So the point of this story is if you want to go from here to there, it's about systems. It's about systems and leadership. And both of these are a mindset shift that you have to start thinking different. It's not about thinking the same way of what I get to 100,000. You literally can go put out 2, 3, 400 signs. I know somebody that put out 100-yard signs and made 100 grand his first year. Literally, he made $125,000 by putting out 100-yard signs his very first year. Now, that's pretty simple. There's not a whole lot of systems we need in place to do that. But let's talk about the difference between a mindset shift of an owner mindset versus a worker mentality, right? So this book that I'm going to give you, which would be the book of the week that I would tell you, is E-Myth Revisit. If you haven't read E-Myth Revisit, I would promise you it is a good book to start reading because it talks about the difference between an entrepreneur mindset and a worker mindset. And this is the difference. A worker mindset isn't thinking about the systems that we need to put in place to make sure that we get the install done the exact way, no matter if I'm there or not. And if I am there better be a checklist that goes bam, 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 bam. So that way, when I am not there, it gets done the exact same way. This is what I see a lot of business people do that have the worker mentality. They will come and start a nice checklist. I give a checklist, right? I in my membership, I have a whole checklist of stuff. And this is what they will do. They will put the checklist in place, but when they're on the job, they decide to skip steps. So when you decide to skip steps, what's your employee's going to do? They're only going to do 80% what you do. So you have to do 120% so that they get down to 100%. And in reality, it's more like you do 80% you do 100% and they're going to do 80%. So that's what I would say is to make sure that you go and get this done for you to do this. So an owner mentality is thinking about the systems he needs to be able to get to $1 million. What's my marketing system? What's my answering the phone system? What's my getting the quotes out system? What's my system to put in place for my follow-ups? What's my systems after the job? Are you calling them? Are you sending them a thank you letter? Are you sending a basket? These are all things that we have to start thinking about with a owner mentality. A worker mentality is, how do I get this job up? How do I get these 5 jobs up? And that's not the case of an owner mentality. An owner mentality needs to think about, how do I get the next 100 jobs up? How do I get my average ticket up from $2,000 to $2,200 or $1,500 up to $2,500? And so this is the important about it. And here's the next thing. Time, right? Time allocation. Stop trading hours for installs. Start investing time into marketing and sales. I see this is one of the things that I see a lot of times that people struggle with is to get off the truck. They think that they got to be on the truck. And this is a part that will never get you to the $1 million mark in your business. If you are on the truck, the likelihood of you getting to $1 million is going to be very, very, very rare, because you've got to have people to be able to do this. And so that takes me to my next one, is team building. You have to become a leader. And if you tell me that your employees suck, you probably ought to look in the mirror, because you probably suck as the business owner. And so a lot of times I see people, and I hear it all the time, I've had to fire 10 people this year. Maybe you should have fired you. that might have been the better option. Because just because you fire 10 people, I don't believe that all 10 people suck. I do believe that you might have sucked, but that's between you and your boss, which is you. And so these are things that you have to think about team building. You know, how is your team? Because you're only as strong as your weakest team member. And so, do they have what they need to get started? And these are all things that we have to think about when we're trying to get to the $1 million mark at the end of the day. What systems do we have in place to get more customers? Are you doing everything you can to get customers? Or are you just hoping and praying that the phone rings? Are you putting out 3,000 yard signs? Or are you putting out 30 yard signs? Or are you not putting out any yard signs because you think they look trashy? And I'll be the first to tell you, I think they look trashy, but I also know they make money. So that's what I'm getting at. So these are all things. Next one, how do you get to $1 million? Price. If you're charging the $6 a foot, do I know some businesses that got to $1 million doing the $4 to $6 a foot? I do know some businesses that do that. I'm not gonna lie. I know some businesses that do that, but there's not many of them. I will tell you, I know a lot more businesses that are charging the $8, $10, $12, $14 a foot that are getting to $1 million, and they're getting there fast. And that's really quick in how you're doing that. You know, and then here's the other thing, right? How do you get your average ticket up? How do we upsell? Are you adding everything to that house design? Are you adding the bushes, the trees, the everything to it? Are you adding the wreaths that they want? Are you adding everything that you need to be able to get your average ticket up? Because it's really about your average ticket. You know, I would much rather do 500 jobs at $2,000 than 1,000 jobs at $1,000. It's half the work. I can do that with a lot less crews, and I can do that with a lot less headaches at the end of the day. So that's what I'm getting at of why we are looking at that. Now, here's one thing that I haven't really talked a lot about is brand. Do you have a brand? When people think Christmas lights, do they think about your brand or you? So these are things that you have to look at and decide. And then the other thing is financial discipline. Do you have money going out that don't need to be going out? Do you plan for the season? Do you plan for that? And then last is vision and leadership, which I talked about leadership up at team building. This here is probably the most important thing. Do you vision your business hitting $1 million? Because if you don't have that vision, it's probably not going to happen. It's not just going to so happen that you hit $1 million. You have to have vision, right? It is not how do I hang more lights? It's how do I build the number one lighting business in my market? That's the question. Is that your vision? Is that your leadership? Or is it how do I hang more lights? How am I the number one company in my area? And so these are all things that we got to start looking at and start thinking about. How do I grow this business? Some of you aren't even at the $1 million range, right? Some of you are at the 10, 30, $50,000 range. And that's okay. But leadership, right? The words we speak to ourselves are super important. If you say that you're dumb, your brain just believes that. If you say that you're smart and that you can achieve anything, that right there is huge. You know, I was listening to a motivational speaker today on YouTube today, and he was saying that if you got hurt and you lost your memory, and when you woke up, they told you that you were a Navy SEAL and you need to get back to it. and you were the best Navy SEAL before you lost your memory, you would do everything in your power to become the best Navy SEAL. But if they told you, you know, at one time you were just a no good person that didn't do, you just got by and you got lucky and you became a Navy SEAL, you would not give your all in all at the end of the day. And it's so true. If you believe it and you will achieve it, right? You have to believe that you're awesome. You have to believe that, in the words we speak are so important. If you say things that put yourself down all the time, it's a matter of how we speak. You know, in this class this past weekend, I said it several times. There was someone that got up and was like, I'm terrible at video. And I'm like, no, in the past, you have been terrible. But as we speak right now, you're going to learn and get better. Now we're taking my thoughts in my mind to be able to get better. And so that's the importance of why we speak to ourselves and the way we speak to others. And this is even more important when you're speaking to your kids. When you speak to your kids, the words you speak to your kids now are the words they hear for the rest of their life. And so if you speak down and negative to your kids, it does them absolutely no good at all. And so this is why it is very, very important that the words we speak, not only to ourselves, but the people around us also. You know, this is why I personally don't like to be around negative people, because I don't want that negativity getting into my brain at the end of the day, because I want to be able to help people be successful. And for me to be able to help people be successful, I have to believe that you are awesome and you are awesome and you can do this. You know, there was some people at this past class that had some rough upbringings. I mean, rough upbringings, and they're there. You know, my friend DJ, he don't know his mom, dad. He was adopted, and he struggled in school, but he did $250,000 last year in his business alone for pressure washing. And so that's the cool thing, that you can be successful. It's just a matter of a couple things. One, you have to take action. If you think that we're just going to hope that this is going to happen, it's never going to happen. Two, never stop learning. Never think you know it all. The day that you think you know it all will be your first downfall. I'm 45 years old, and I will tell you, I don't know it all. I know a lot of people in this industry that think they know it, and I know a lot of people that are willing to keep growing, and those are the ones that are successful. Those are the ones that are coming up with stuff and thinking outside of the box because they don't know it all. So that's what I wanted to talk about. Mindset. Mindset is so important when we're thinking about growing. If you want to get from 100,000 to a million, it's possible. It is definitely possible. You can definitely do it with a Christmas light business in 2025. Is it going to be easy? No, I never said it was going to be easy. But can it be done? Absolutely, 100%. Bozeman Outdoor, Knoxville Ollie Jolly Christmas lights. Stick with the current profile, add Christmas lights as a service. Boom. Let's go, Matt. Um, let's see here. What other? Carrie Bozeman said, let's go, Matt. Uh, um, sorry I'm late. Bearded soft wash in the house. How you doing, sir? Um, Let's see. Well done, Matt. Jason is the man, and it is why everyone should go to his class. I didn't pay him to say that either. Um, let's see here. Um, nice, congratulations. All right. I have to just read off the questions because I don't know why it does. Sometimes it do works and sometimes it don't. Don't sell them. Matt Gooden quoted 3 commercial jobs this week. One was a $36,000 job. Wow, that's awesome. And then you closed a $5,000 job. You're killing it, man. Sorry I'm late. Bearded Soft Wash in the house. Best software for light design. There's a couple different ones. You have the Jolly Lights, which it's an app, iPad. There's Canva, which is free. If you're looking for free version, you can do Canva. You can do Holiday Home Concepts. You can do Chat GPT. There's a bunch of different ways you can do it. You picking on Quan again? Nope, I'm not picking on Quan. I'm just giving him a hard time. Excited for this season. Just got a qualified lead through my website created by Jason and his team. That is awesome. Hit the like button. I agree. Hit the like button. Why won't you say the state in the East? Please tell me don't tell me it is Florida. It is not Florida. It starts with an N. And it's a 2-worded state. Question. Should I put the level lock feet stabilizer on the 24, 32, or just the 28 and 32? Honestly, I'd probably just do the 24 and 32, or the 28 and 32. Jason puts on a great class. He came home from the class this weekend in Charlotte. What's the most you've made in a season doing lights before retiring? We did over $500,000. Now the company that they do almost $2 million in Christmas lights. I'll be $10 a foot to start this year and more for permanent lights. Nothing that's worth it is easy. I'm late sending out quotes all evening. Jason is the GOAT. Myrtle Beach here. So if you all have any questions, definitely put them in the chat here. I will answer your questions. I'm excited for this year. I think this year for Christmas lights is definitely going to be an amazing year. I've seen several people that have already closed large jobs, obviously you can see here. And these are brand new jobs. These aren't closing jobs that you have quoted last year or getting those quotes. These are brand new jobs. And so it's going to be a good year. I believe that it's going to be an awesome year, but it does take work. It does not going to be easy. If you think that you're just going to hope and the magic is going to just magically make your phone ring, it's not going to work that way. It never has, and it never will work that way. So it is definitely something that takes work, and it is definitely something that you can do and grow your business at the end of the day. Best place for yard signs. I say stick them suckers everywhere. I like putting them in high areas where people are where there's a lot of people, a lot of busy intersections is my favorite place. You can put them in like the back of hospitals where the doctors park. You can put them in the drive-through of Starbucks. You can put them at the high-end schools or around those schools. You can put them at the churches, put them things everywhere. That's where the best place to put up yard signs. Did you have sales rep and what percent for the commission? I personally did not have sales reps when we had the business. The people that I do know that have sales rep pay them anywhere from 10 to 20%, is what they pay them. So that's kind of where you're at with them. So anywhere from about 10 to 20% is where the people that I know that have had good success with them. Can you go over installer incentive and or pay? So there's a couple ways that you can do it, Matt. One way is you can pay by the hour. It works, but I don't really like it because then I don't know my cost per job. So the way that people do a lot is to do the side of to be able to do per foot. So they will charge anywhere from $1.80 to $1.25 to install is one way to do it. They'll charge so much to put up a wreath. They'll charge so much to put up a strand. So there's cost. And so they will have to write how many strands they put up. They will have to write down how many lights they install. That is one way to do it. Another way that I know people have done it is a percentage. And so the one guy that I knew originally did it at 15% and then 3% for takedown. But I know the next year he decided to not do it that way. So there's lots of different ways that you can do it. It's just a matter of picking one and going after it and getting it done. So that's kind of the different ways. Again, percentage per foot or per hour. And the 80 cents to $1 is usually split between the helper and the guy on the roof, depending on how they want to split it at that end of the day. So that's just some things to look at. I'm looking to get off the truck and work on the business. I can't answer calls when I'm on the phone. And that's the whole point of it, right? You can't do sales when you're on the job. And the job can get done without you there. I know that we have to put the right systems in place, but it can be done. And there's people that actually can do it better than you. And so that's the importance of why getting off the truck is so important. Again, on the truck, that's $1 a foot. Like that's a $20 an hour. Like I know people that are on the truck and they're making anywhere from $20 to $40 an hour. But how much are you making when you're off the truck and you're answering the phone and you're sending out that marketing piece and you're doing those things? That's the best place to be at the end of the day. That's good info too, but best place to buy them. All yard signs, moneybushes.com. Moneybushes.com is the best place to buy the yard signs. I don't know if I got it on here. No. Moneybushes.com. That camera looks terrible, don't it? We'll change it back to that camera. I've got 3 cameras here today. And this is the only one that looks good. You can achieve those big goals after attending one of Jason's sessions. 500% worth going to one. Yep. Would you recommend shutting down pressure washing to do Christmas lights? And my answer is probably yes. There was 2 or 3 years that we actually shut down all the pressure washing. The last year, we actually kept one truck running, but around here, it doesn't get that busy, so you're not making a lot of money doing pressure washing in this area. Now, down in Florida, I do know that November can be a busy month for you because everybody wants to clean up their homes. So that's kind of where you got to look at, is it worth it? If you're not in Florida and you're just somewhere else, I would say that it's probably better to shut down the pressure washing and do the Christmas lights. ChatGPT is telling me to do Bozeman Outdoor Services. I would not change your business name of the landscaping one. I would look at doing the because you don't want to put both services under there because it's going to pick one and it's not going to do the other one. That's a great way to see it, Jason. With AI, there are so many zero-click searches, finding answers without clicking anything. Times are changing quick. It is changing so fast, it is not funny. And like, I seen a study the other day that 35 or 38% are no clicks anymore. This is why Google is looking at going to the AI mode where you see very little, you won't see any links like you used to. And so things are definitely changing very quickly. And so it is definitely something to think about what you have to do to be able to keep growing your business. Because what we did 3 years ago isn't going to work in the next 12 months or the next 2 years. And so this is why it is so important that we never stop learning. We keep learning and growing. Again, I promise you, I really don't know everything. I know a lot, but I don't know everything. I learn something new every day. And there's a reason, like I learned something new yesterday. And some of you have been following me on Facebook. You've probably seen that I've changed the way I've been posting. And guess what? It works. I went from 1,000 views a day to over 14,000 views yesterday on day one of doing this new strategy. Think about that. How much more can you start getting it out to other people by changing one thing? And yes, when you come to my classes, I teach these things. Now, I didn't know about it last week, so I didn't teach it at that class. But guess what? The people that come to the pressure washing class or the upcoming Christmas light class will start to learn these things and these techniques that will help you grow your business. And so that's what you're getting at. You know, like I said, I went from 1,000 views to over 14,000 views in one day. One day. Like I started doing this yesterday at 2:00, and today I'm already over 14,000 views in that day. So it's about how do we find things, how do we change things, how do we grow things, and this is what we do. We never stop learning. When you think you know it all, you'll be the first one to wish that you didn't know it all. Hello from Arizona, Maurice. Maurice has been to a class about commercial jobs. Ring wars. When you wrap really tall columns, have you seen people just hanging minis just straight vertical up and down rather than traditional wrapping them? And what is part called that holds them up? I have, and it's called a no wrap strap. But I will tell you that it takes two people, and I did a column at a church that we did it both ways. And I could do one column by myself the same amount of time that it took two people to do one column. And actually, it took longer for two people to do it. And I personally don't think it looked as good because we ran out of light. So you had to either add up or something else. You couldn't split them up at that point. So my personal opinion, I don't like them. They're out there. I've used them. I personally don't like them. It doesn't do as good as you think it would. Again, I tested it. I tested it on 4 different columns. I did 4 columns one way and I did 4 columns the other way. And I could put them up and take them down quicker than without them. And that's just wrapping them around. So that's my opinion of my testing of what I've done. I did a restaurant and the lift was $1,000. So if I ever had to go for service, I would not be able to service without a lift. How do you price that? If I had a call, I had to pay from my pocket. Charge enough for it. So raise your prices. I've been trying to like every post I see, everything I can do to help. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Comment on it, like it, everybody should. If you want to help me out, comment on stuff, like it, share it, the whole 9 yards. I'm not sure if I missed this, but is it a great idea to start a separate entity from my pressure washing for Christmas lights? I feel like I can charge premium prices with having more professional business names specifically for Christmas lights. And the answer, Zach, is yes. You will get found better on Google. You will become that expert at that point. So that's the good thing about doing it as a different business. You can do it as a DBA, and sometimes Google will allow that through, and sometimes they will not. And so that's kind of where you are. Hey, Jason. Where'd that go at? Hey, Jason, thank you for dropping game on us. Want to start a Christmas tree removal service, clean up tree to dump business. You think it's viable? I do think it would be viable. I think people would definitely pay for it. And then that way you can keep it a green recycling thing. So that way it's recyclable. They don't have to deal with it. I honestly think you could. I think that takes the joy out of it. I was going to say go set it up for people, but I think that's kind of the Christmas thing that people want. Do you like the name Jolly Ollie Christmas Lights of Knoxville? The same Knoxville Christmas Lights is already taken. Then keep up Google for LLC, but change the name. They do DBA Jolly Ollie's is Christmas is. I think it could work. Is kind of because you can do that as a good logo and everything. How tall were the columns that you tested on? Thanks for the insight. They're about, I would say probably 15, 16 feet. They wasn't just an 8-foot one. I actually had to get up on a ladder to do it. So I was on top of the ladder, he was on bottom of the ladder, and we had to work it together. So that's how it worked. I don't know if I got a picture. It was one of the churches that I did. I believe I'm going to run lights from my current LLC and start the new LLC next year for lights. That's a good thing because then you can get some pictures and photos and, here's the thing. I know people that have businesses that have ran without no Google My Business, without no website for years and years, and they've made $500,000 without even a website, right? And so it can definitely be possible to do this. So don't think that you have to have all this stuff to do it. It can definitely be possible to be able to grow this business without all of this stuff. It helps, don't get me wrong. And once we get it ranking and get the Google My Business working and all of those things can definitely help you out a bunch. But I know people that went years without a website. So don't think that, I got to have a website, I got to do this, because there's other things that you can do. So that's a good point, Bearded Self-Wash. So any other questions? Again, if you didn't know, ChristmasLights.io is, if you haven't joined my Facebook group, I would highly recommend you join it, ChristmasLights.io/group. I give a lot of valuable content in there. And if you want to go check it out, you can definitely go check it out. If you need Christmas lights, you can go to ChristmasLight.io. Don't put the S on it. I'm building a whole new site for it. I'm hoping, I'm not hoping, I'm gonna have it ready by September 1st. I'm gonna make it ready by September 1st, one way or another. So that's my deadline. I only got 11 days, 10, 11 days. But that's my deadline that I'm putting myself to. Buy Christmas lights. You get same day shipping. It ships out the same day you buy it, and you get 2 day shipping pretty much everywhere. Some places you actually get 1 day shipping. Some places you get 2 day shipping. And it's free shipping over $399. So if you spend more than $400, you get free shipping. So that's the cool thing about it. And then the other thing too, if you want to know about the in-person classes, you can go to christmaslights.io/IPT for in-person training, IPT, and check out the dates. I have the dates for September and October set. So you can definitely go see all of that good stuff there. And then one last thing is if you want to know when I go live, I always text out when I go live. You can text the word light, LITE, to 855-619-5483. If you have questions, you can text that number. You can also call that number. There's not a guarantee that I'm actually struggling a little bit right now that it's not always going to me. I'm trying to figure out how to make sure that it always goes to me. But if you have questions, if you need Christmas lights, if you need permanent lighting, and you'd like to talk to me, call me and I can help you walk through with whatever you may need ordered. If you've got a big permanent light job and you need help getting the right materials and you want to make sure, give me a ring and I will walk you through it so that way you can get that stuff ordered. So that way it will help you out a bunch. Yeah, I've been really struggling to get my GMB verified. This is year 3 for us. Yeah, so if you don't have an LLC or through the state and just a DBA, it's going to be hard to do it. If you're doing it from a residential and you're trying to do it as a service business and you want the address, it's going to be hard to get your GMB serviced. If your name does not match what your LLC or what the state is, it's probably not going to go through. And then you got to take a video of you answering the door. You might need to get you some signs. You might need to get you some different things to make that happen. I did my first paver job last week. Loved it so much. Easier than Dex. Turned out amazing, from weeds to shining, messy, boring, out the sand through. Yep, good job. In-person classes are 100% worth it. Just do it and you won't regret it. But again, I'm excited for this year. I think that I know this is going to be an amazing year for everyone. You all are going to go out and crush it and kill it, and that's going to be awesome. And so the biggest thing I will say on this is you got to take action. If you want to grow this business, if you want this business to be successful, you have to take action. You have to do the things you need to do to grow this business. You have to answer the phone. You have to put out posts. You have to put out yard signs. You have to put out money for ads. And when you do this, it will grow your business and you can be successful. But again, if you want to just sit there and talk about it, it's not going to do anything. If you're just going to sit there and hope it's going to happen, it's not going to happen. It's doing things that are scary and doing things that are hard. You know, I always ask this question: how many people like to do video? And I will get one person out of a class of 20 people. That's a hard thing to do, but guess what? It has a lot of returns on it. You know, I've got guys right now that are doing video for LinkedIn. Imagine doing a video for LinkedIn on the message side, right? It's working amazing, but it's not easy. And guess what? You can do hard things. Did you know that? Did you know you can do hard things? And so with that, if you need anything, give me a buzz, give me a holler, send me a message. I like the messages better, but if you are the person that likes to talk, I'll do that too. I like to do that too. But other than that, don't call me tomorrow, or otherwise it probably will go to voicemail, because I've got class tomorrow and Friday. I'll be in class all day. But if you leave me a message, I will call you back and help you in any way that I can because I want you to be successful. I want you to grow your business because I don't want you to buy just one starter pack from me. I want you to buy hundreds of starter packs, right? Of 1,000-foot spools. I want you to buy 100,000-foot spools. I don't want you to just buy one. I want you to buy a bunch. So these are all things that you can do to grow your business. Yard signs end of this month for lights. Go out there and go get it done. But with that, go be great this week. Go be great and do amazing things. And we'll see you all later.